for sharing that hopeful, beautiful song. Gary is cheering. You can be sure of that. David, are you up to?
I'm ready.
Sharing?
Yes, sir.
Deb, get hold. So just okay.
So I was up all night praying to God, to Grandpa and Grandma, and Gary, that I had the strength today to deliver this message. So I'm going to do my best. I want to start by saying thank you to everyone for joining us and supporting our family on this extremely difficult day. We are gathered here today to honor my brother Gary Williams and remember all the great times we shared with him. While many of you may have known his past struggles with addiction that had a tight grip on him at times, that never stopped Gary from being an incredible human being. Gary was the type of person that if he had the last dime in his pocket, he would give it to you along with the shirt off his back if you were in need. He had a philosophy that you never know if one day you could be in the same shoes, and always showed compassion to those that truly needed it. I never thought that I'd be standing before you today giving a eulogy for my big brother at such a young age. I did, however, found peace knowing that he made it to heaven okay, and many of you may ask, David, how do you know this for certain? Well, my parents and I were on our way to a trip to Vancouver together when we received the news about Gary, causing us to turn right back around less than 24 hours after landing. There was one lunch we had together in Vancouver, however, that made it worth the long flight there and the long flight back. We were sitting in a restaurant with heavy hearts after lunch talking about Gary and how it just didn't seem real. Moments after our conversation, a song began to play randomly at the restaurant. That was our Grandpa and Grandma song that used to love, It's a Wonderful World by Louis Armstrong. It's not the first time this song played for us during a very specific moment like that, so I knew it was a sign. I had peace in that moment that Grandpa just grabbed Gary by the neck, hugging him as he pulled him through the pearly gates of heaven. My intuition, which has been stronger than ever lately, told me that in that moment, that song meant Gary just earned his angel wings. Even with the peace and understanding that followed, the following few days that preceded were extremely difficult. I just replayed in my mind, what could I have done differently to prevent this? And how could I have saved Gary so he'd still be with us today? I beat myself up, asking, why didn't I just make one more call, send one more text, have just one more visit with him, or have just one final conversation at a much deeper level than we ever had spoken in the past. I finally realized that I needed to let go and let God. Gary finally achieved the peace he so strongly desired and deserved. You see, God had a plan all along that you or I could never change. I truly believe that it was time for Gary's physical suffering to come to an end and allow for a new beginning, because God had much bigger plans for him. In the process of writing this eulogy, the unthinkable happened the following morning. A memory popped up on my Facebook from 1 year ago yesterday in Maui with my parents, showcasing the very same song that I had my eulogy live in concert that we attended. This brought to me the final validation and peace I needed, knowing that Gary is truly okay in a much better place. I share this because I hope this also brings some peace and comfort to each of you today. I believe my brother carried an incredible weight on his shoulders at times during his life, and I finally realized that that was by design. You see, that was the strength training and the strength conditioning to become a warrior of God. One of the baddest guardian angels any one of us could ever ask for. I think everyone will agree we can never ask for a greater protector to watch over us. I will note that if Gary were here today, he would not want sadness or just the mourning of his loss. I know that's easier said than done, as we all loved him each in our own unique and profound way, but loved him unconditionally nonetheless. Gary would instead want a big old party, lots of smiles, lots of laughter, and for today to be a special day that truly embraced the celebration of his life. I believe he is now at peace, experiencing a level of happiness none of us can yet understand or imagine. These words started to come to me the other night as I struggled to write what I wanted to be the perfect eulogy for my brother. I called people, I texted people, I searched online, then I finally stopped and listened to a friend, along with my inner voice that said, David, just trust your heart. I believe in that moment these words were passed to me from my brother Gary, who will forever be with us in spirit. If Gary were here today, he would look out and say, Mom and Dad, you're both saints, and I love you more than you'll ever know. You loved and supported me through the thick or thin, no matter the circumstance, and at times, we had some very difficult circumstances. You never gave up on me when 99% of society would have. And for that, I'm forever grateful and thank you from the bottom of my heart. I also believe he would say he had brothers, sisters, and a very close family of friends, aunts, uncles, and cousins, and close friends that loved him unconditionally, no matter what. If ever he needed to be lifted up, we would be there, and he would do the same for us in return. I believe Gary would say, don't worry, Mom and Dad, I'm okay. I'm with both your parents right now, sharing stories. We all love you so very much. I believe Gary is in a place of true happiness today, living pain and addiction-free, with a certain indescribable peace within his soul he never knew existed until now. As we all gather here today, Gary is likely up in heaven, sitting next to Grandma and Grandpa right now, grilling a big, juicy steak, dancing with Grandma to his favorite band by a campfire, rolling some of the finest tobacco heaven has to offer, with a can of Bud in his hand, looking down, smiling on us, with nothing but love, whispering, I will always be with you. I finally achieved understanding and clarity in one of Gary's favorite songs throughout this process, the song Simple Man by Leonard Skinner. The chorus goes, boy, don't you worry, you'll find yourself. Follow your heart and nothing else. And you can do this, oh baby, if you try. All that I want for you, my son, is to be satisfied and be a simple kind of man. Oh, be something you love and understand, be a simple kind of man. Gary was just that, a simple kind of man. He just needed the simple things in life to achieve his own true happiness. I recently recognized the pursuit of happiness that many of us dedicate working our entire lives towards could actually be distancing us further away from that same happiness we so deeply desire. You see, the pursuit of happiness can be a double-edged sword. If we do not proceed with caution, our initial goal can become lost during the chase. I guess sometimes what we seek is right in front of us all along among the simple things. Gary just loved the simple things, just like the song he loved. He loved the outdoors. He loved to hunt fish, tend to his garden, cook great food, be with great friends, while listening to great music. None of these simpler pleasures took much money, just an open mind and an open heart. My most recent memory of Gary was when he messaged me for a ride not too long ago, and I was stuck at work. I ended up calling him an Uber ride, along with some food delivered from Wegmans. I guess that was his first Uber ride ever because he was fascinated by it. I found out later he told one of his friends, all excited, that Dave was there for me, and he got me a Ubi, man. He said, Gary, you mean an Uber? He said, yeah, a Ubi, bro. He was so grateful for what was a simple gesture that made a lasting impact in his heart. That's the kind of man he was. Most people didn't know that Gary was also a man of God. They knew his Bible more than most, and including more than I. This demonstrated to me that I can be a better man. I can be more like Gary. He again didn't desire or need a lot to feel as though he had a lot. I believe there's an extremely valuable lesson that we can each take with us today that could possibly change our lives as we once knew them. Maybe it was Gary that possessed the true key to happiness all along. Maybe it was some of us that didn't have our eyes open wide enough, including myself. Maybe we all need to just be a little bit more like Gary Williams when he was at his best in his purest form. I love you, brother, with all my heart and soul. I always looked up to you and always will. You're in my blood and have a special place deep in my heart that will always be reserved for you, and our memories we shared will never be forgotten. In closing, as I stand before you all today, I make a commitment to you and a commitment to Gary that his name will never be forgotten. I will promise to carry his torch and his legacy and attempt to help countless others in his name. What gives me the competence and confidence to move forward is the fact that I know Gary will forever be my guiding counsel from up above, helping me along the way in an effort to make this world a better place. After I take some time to heal, it is my intent to initiate the first annual Gary Williams Gala in Gary's name and dedicated to helping at-risk youth or community members in need in our local Rochester community. The final words I will leave you with today is a quote from Will Smith. He says, "Never lie, steal, cheat, or drink. But if you must lie, lie in the arms of the ones you love. If you must steal, steal away from bad company. If you must cheat, cheat death. And if you must drink, drink in the moments that take your breath away." Thank you all so much for your love and support. Now let's all make today a celebration, a day to remember the incredibly big heart and kind soul of a special man we know and love, Gary Williams. Thank you.